Welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JBON, and we are fabulous marching into March today, the first day of March, as we celebrate this wonderful beginning of spring, as we sort of step into this momentum of marching forth. Isn't it a wonderful idea, the idea of March and marching? How can we march into our greatness? How can we march towards the things that we love and adore? How can we march in our consciousness and march towards the things that matter to us? How can we do all of that as we march together to ignite humanity? Well, that's what this show is all about. How can you do the things in your life to raise the consciousness of those around you? How can you be a part of igniting humanity? We love to give you ideas with wonderful guests on the show who are sharing how they are igniting humanity in their own lives and talking about their ignite moments, those precious times that awaken them to the new idea of how they can be doing something, not just to help themselves, but to help others. And folks, when we help others and we inspire those around us, imagine the magnitude and the impact that we make. This show is all about giving you ideas, tools, suggestions, and tips that you can do in your life to ignite the lives of others. Now, please forgive me for a little bit of a residual cold as my voice is crackling, but I'm looking forward to our guest talking to me about ways to raise my wellness and step into the breath work that's going to make me feel better. Super happy to have him here. Benedict Beaumont is a breathwork facilitator and founder of Breathing Space School of Breathwork. He is passionate about bringing breathwork out to the world, especially to those who wouldn't normally have access to it. It is his mission to train as many people as possible in the power of breathwork and to spread the spark of transformation around the world. Super happy to have him here. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Lady JB. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction and for inviting me on to Ignite Humanity.
Well, I'm happy to have you here, and I'm just going to give the reader or the viewers a little bit of insight. 2 a.m. in the morning for you. Where are you coming to us from?
I'm coming live to you from Ubud in Bali, one of the great spiritual centers of the world, where there is a guru on every street corner. There is spiritual awakenment and enlightenment in every street. But it is very early in the morning here.
Yes, and I wanted to say thank you to your commitment to ignite humanity. Folks, that's what it takes. If you want to ignite humanity, time does not matter. Sleep is irrelevant. You show up to inspire others to ignite humanity. Well, let's start off by hearing your zone of genius. Tell us the wonderful work that you like to do. Founder of Breathing Space, share with us a little bit about the essence of that.
Well, I discovered breathwork about 10 years ago, and I'll tell you that story in a little while. But breathwork is the most amazingly powerful and yet simple tool to help spark the change within us, to help light us up. And so I lead all sorts of breathwork to all sorts of people. I lead all sorts of different techniques and exercises and moments and meditations for every single moment that we can experience as humans. I've got a favour to ask, actually, JB.
Of course.
Perhaps we could start our time together by doing a very simple breathwork technique. Now, you mentioned at the beginning that this is a day, your energy for today is connection. And I start pretty much every interaction that I have, whether it's from an interview like this to all your listeners and followers, or whether it's to my accountant, who, by the way, is not into wellness at all. All we do is we stop and we pause and we take a few breaths together. And every single person understands and gets how powerful that can be, and it will really shift the energy that we have in a room. Would that be all right if we just took a few breaths together?
I would love it. I even remember when you and I were chatting before on a Zoom call, we did that. And you're right, it just grounds the energy. It just brings everybody into the room. It just totally shifts the momentum. I would be honored. Let's do it.
So if you're watching this live with us now or on recording, maybe place a hand on somewhere that feels strong and safe in your body. And just take a few breaths with us right now. Whatever energy, whatever emotion you're feeling right now is welcome. Thank you so much. I feel really connected to you now and everyone in the network.
And it's wonderful because it just brings you right into this moment, into space, into remembering how precious we are, how important we are. Thank you for that too. It's such a gift. It is truly such a gift. Share with everybody how powerful that is. I mean, some people are feeling like breath work is like something new and on trend, is something we've just kind of created in this new society. But you and I both know it's gone back to the beginning of time, to birth, to the moment when we come out of the birth canal. There's so much power in the breath. Talk a little bit about how this has been a tradition anciently amongst all people since the beginning of time.
Well, that's a great introduction to that, because breathwork is really not just from the beginning of time to now, but it is also with us, present in every single moment of our lives. It is the first thing that we do, and it is the last thing that we do. And yet, for most of the time, we take it for granted. We're just completely unaware about it. But what if our breath could be the biggest source of insight and wisdom and power that we have inside of us? What if it could be the key that unlocks so much inside of us, and we're just unaware of it? Now, as you said, breathwork has been around since the beginning of time. We are all breathing. And it has been a part of every single religious tradition. It is there in all of the holy books. It is there in all the great mystical traditions, from the yogic Vedas to the traditional Chinese medicine schools. It is part of every traditional shamanic kind of practice. Breath is there. What happens if we actually take that out and concentrate on the breath, and not just everything that it accompanies, whether that's chanting or singing or dancing or praying? What if breath is the key that binds everything together, that integrates everything, that can elevate everything? Well, then magical things can really happen.
So well said. And I mean, I love that you said like a what if, as in the way of like asking the question. But the truth is, when we ask ourselves, we know this to be true. And what happens in our busy lives, many of us, I'll do that later, I'll get to it. Oh, it's not so important. Do you have some suggestions and tools to stop that bypassing conversation and really help us focus on making this part of our daily ritual?
Well, another brilliant question. And you are so right, Lady JB. We live in a really busy society. Constantly, all the time, we're bombarded with phones, traffic, children, work demands all the time. And most of us live in a chronically overwhelmed state where our nervous system is overloaded. And that's not really healthy. But there are some very simple and powerful techniques that we can use to drop us out of our sympathetic nervous system, our fight or our flight or our fear or our freeze kind of reflex, to really lower down, to really drop into that rest and digest space, which generally for most of the time is so much more beneficial to actually exist in. Now, breathwork, one of the reasons I love breathwork is it's so simple and yet so profound. None of the techniques that I share are very difficult. They're not complicated. Anyone can learn them within just a few minutes, and that's one of the beauties. Now, this breathwork that I'm just going to lead maybe 60-second practice in is one of the simplest and yet one of the most powerful. It's called coherence breathing, and all we're going to do is to match the length of the inhale to the length of the exhale. And we do that by counting. So I'm going to count to a count of 4. And what that will do, as our breath comes into balance, so will all the other parts of our body come into balance. All the different systems, from our heartbeat to our blood pressure to our brain waves, they'll all start to level out. That gives a very powerful message to our nervous system that we're safe, that we can drop down a little bit, that we can actually calm down, and everything else that is bombarding us can just recede a little bit. My favorite thing about this technique, and this is why I want to share this with you, is that it's a secret technique. You can do this anytime, anywhere, and no one will know about it. There are many exercises and practices that you can do, which you might not want to do in public whilst you're on the bus or walking on, but this one, you can do there's no contraindication, so you can do this for as long as possible, as often as possible, and it will only benefit you. Does that sound like something that might be a good thing to do right now?
Yeah, let's try it for sure. I love it.
All right, so just give yourself a quick shake. Sit comfortably or stand comfortably or whatever you're doing, because you can do this if you're moving around as well. So wherever you are on your breath cycle, take an inhale and then exhale through the nose. Now, if you can, breathe through your nose and follow my count. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then give yourself a shake.
I literally felt my shoulders like go down 3 inches on like breath number 4. It was like this whole, they were way up here and then I just felt them go like, wait, it was incredible. And then on the very last one, like even another few inches down, it was really powerful. Thank you for giving us that gift. It's truly, who doesn't have 60 seconds to do that in the, at any time of the day when you just really need it? Why not dial into that great way? Today, is all about connections. And I was just about to say that great way to connect with self. And I stopped myself because I really want to segue into this idea of how breath work helps us connect with ourselves. Because I didn't know my shoulders were way up here in this tight stage until I used the breath to just help me. Let's talk a little bit about, we're so busy trying to connect on social media, connect with people around us, and we're losing a little bit of that connection to ourselves. And just noticing the nose, the nostril, the breath, the lungs, the shoulders, all of that, it's really a powerful way to connect with self.
I really love that you've mentioned connection, because this is actually one of the words that I use to describe what breathwork can do to us. And you're right, we're so busy trying to connect with each other, in ways that aren't always the best way to connect. And actually, we long for a much deeper, more profound connection. Now, breathwork gives us that in different ways. First of all, you're absolutely right. Breathwork can connect us inside to our wisest and our truest and our highest selves. Part of that is a connection to our physical body, which so many of us have lost. We're not aware of how our body is feeling, whether that's our shoulders are tense, or whether we're breathing incorrectly, or whether we're hunched over. We're just not very physically aware of our bodies at the moment. But when we stop and we pause and we take a breath, and first of all, we can connect to our physical body, but even more powerfully, we can connect to that internal space within us. That wise, strong, true, kind, and loving place, which is an expression of our highest self. Maybe even the deepest spiritual part of ourselves. The exercise that we did earlier, when we just stopped and paused and we acknowledged the breath that we're sharing together, helps us connect with each other on a much deeper level than just a WhatsApp message or a Facebook comment. Actually, when we connect with our breath, when we acknowledge that, it allows that energy to be really nourished and flourished between us. But there is something deeper that breath can do, Lady JB, and that is connect us to something that is more than just our physical selves, more than just the energy between us as well. We are more. We are more than just this physical body, from our skin, blood, and our bones. There is something deeper within us. There is something divine with us. There is a spark. When we truly breathe together, we can acknowledge there is something bigger, greater, and deeper than that. And whatever your belief system is, and there is no denominational practice with breathwork, it fits with any religious practice or any spiritual belief. It is something that will take us beyond just this material self of ego and self to something greater, something bigger, something more powerful, and something more important.
Mm. Can you imagine? I mean, so many people are going to Starbucks to feel better. They're getting on Facebook to scroll to feel better. They're using chocolate or ice cream to feel better. And in search of, this stimulant, this thing to feel better. And yet we have exactly what we need to give us the greatest form of stimulation, greatest form of connection, greatest form of peace and harmony, completely free. It doesn't cost a thing, available at all times. You don't have to get in the car to go get it. And yet we sort of miss out on that. So really, again, thank you for reminding us all. I always tell my guests, it's a morning show, so let's be excited, let's be energetic, let's be fun. But the truth is, that felt so good. Like, that really, really felt good. And so that breathing can uplift you in so many ways, and it doesn't have to be all busy, busy, busy. And so what a great reminder, folks. I hope you did the breathing with us. Benedict, do you have another one? I often do box breathing. Can you talk a little bit about the power of box breathing? Oh, it looks like he may have froze, so we'll see if we can get him back. So box breathing is a technique that I learned where you breathe in for a count, and then you hold for the same count, and then you breathe out for the same count. So if you can breathe in for the count of 6, then you hold for the count of 6, and then you exhale for the count of 6. I also learned this technique by breathing in through the nose, holding, and then out through the mouth. And let me give you an example. So 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is a really great example of box breathing. Hold, breathe in, hold, and breathe out. And as you work towards it, that 6 can become 8, can become 10, can become 21. And it really is a wonderful restorative way. Well, we lost you, Benedict. I was talking a little bit how I use box breathing to help me settle my nervous system. And when my kids were little and they'd get stomach aches or tummy aches or feel stressed out, I immediately would actually say to them, okay, let's do our box breathing. And in fact, I'll share a little fun story. When my son was 15, he went away to camp, and they had s'mores and ice cream and marshmallows, and he'd never eaten those before. We were a very low sugar family, and he got a really bad stomach ache. And the camp counselor called me and said, we're trying to give your son some Pepto-Bismol or some aspirin or something to help him with his stomach ache. And all he keeps telling us is he wants to do his breathing exercises. And I was like, yes, that's my son. And so it's a great technique to teach your kids. Share a little bit about the power of box breathing.
Well, box breathing, and I came in just as you were leading that. And first of all, just apologies for me dropping out. I'm in Bali at the moment, and sometimes the internet is a
No
little
worries.
hit and miss. Box breathing is like the next level of coherence breathing because, again, you're matching the length of your inhale as well, but you're putting in some breath holds. Now, breath holds do something really interesting to our body's physiology. When we consciously breathe in this manner, we're constantly changing the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide in our bloodstream, which also changes our pH level. And then when we hold at the top, our carbon dioxide increases, which makes our blood a little bit more acidic. And then when we hold at the bottom, we go a little bit more alkaline. And that really changes things, but it helps our body even more powerfully drop into homeostasis, into that place of rest and digest. So box breathing, it's a great one to lead on from coherence breathing. It's like the next level. And I'm thrilled that you did that with your children. I'm thrilled that they had this practice really early on in their lives.
Yeah, they love it. And of course, also belly breathing with kids is so great, where they really extend their tummy and they just get all fun and have happy ways of sticking out their tummy and making it and really blowing out air. We've used breathing all the time for stress, frustration, for tummy aches, for fear, for concerns, for big games, for tough tests. I mean, I've used it a lot. And of course, I use breathing all the time. Box breathing is one of my favorite things to just get grounded. Let me ask you, and we've come a little bit close to where we still have a few more minutes, but I just want to get to your Ignite moment. What was the thing that made this so important for you?
Well, funnily enough, it happened exactly where I am now in Ubud, in Bali almost exactly 10 years ago, almost to the very day. At that point, I was a burnt out high school teacher, a substitute teacher who had never achieved very much in their life. I was 40 years old and I was looking for my purpose. I'd always been searching for that moment of transformation, that moment of enlightenment. And I'd read every self-help book. I'd gone to group therapy. I had a very strong meditation, Buddhist practice. I'd done 10 years of stretching myself on the yoga mat, but nothing made sense. And then I was in Bali. I met someone socially. He said, I'm a breathwork facilitator. I thought I knew what breathwork was. I thought, yeah, it's a bit of alternate nostril breathing or box breathing. We'll lie down, listen to some music, and then we'll have a nice rest. True conscious breathwork is like plant medicine. It's like ayahuasca. It's like an alternative consciousness experience where huge transformational change is possible in just a few moments. And I'm talking about people letting go of deep trauma. I'm talking about people letting go of huge addictions, people finding their purpose in life, which is what happened to me. I had that moment 10 years ago in Bali, and it changed my life completely. It took me from just being a burnt-out secondary school teacher to starting an international breathwork school with facilitators and teachers all over the world, to running retreats all over the world, to starting festivals. I started two festivals. I have no idea how I did that, but it was easy and it was fun. Better than anything else I'd done before. And it was that moment. And I remember the breathwork like it was yesterday. I was in a room full of people. On one side of me, someone was screaming like they were being stabbed. On the other side of me, someone was having a full body orgasm. On the other side of the room, someone was laughing like they'd been told the secret to the universe. And yet when we came back together, despite all these huge different experiences that everyone had had, everyone found something extraordinary in that moment. And in that moment, I thought, I have to learn how to do this. It's changed me. It's given me something, and I want to bring that out into the world.
What an Ignite moment. It's so fantastic. That's the power of Ignite moments, that we recognize them, that we see them, that we don't just gloss over them and let them be like, oh, what was that? What should I do now? Now this has become your mission. This has become your work. This is what you do. You're impacting people all over the world. Can you make the connection on how breathwork is going to ignite humanity?
I can. Breathwork is coming. Breathwork is becoming more and more recognized, more and more widely known. 30 years ago, people had hardly heard of yoga, but now there's a yoga studio on every street corner. And I believe breathwork is going to have the same impact in the world as well. And the thing about breathwork is everyone can do it. Whereas you take meditation, half of people say, I can't do it. My mind's too busy, which, by the way, is like saying I'm too dirty to take a shower. But breathwork, everyone understands and everyone can do it, because what if transformational change was as simple and easy as taking a breath? And I want to tell everyone who's watching this, actually, it can be. Going on this journey of self-improvement and growth and development does not have to be difficult. It does not have to be this kind of worthy, striving mission where we're pushing and we're getting up early and we're following a funny gut. Actually, it can be easy, and it can be fun, and it can be joyful. Breathwork is going to change the world.
I totally agree. And I would just like to put a little plug in. Folks, it doesn't have to happen immediately and then you feel like, oh, I didn't do it right. Breathwork is actually a progressive, over time, beautiful, like the waves of the ocean, highs and lows and all and it's eternal, it's ever growing. There is no right or wrong. There is no you got it or you didn't. But it definitely is something that you have to make a choice to put time into and not expect, 10 out of 10 on your very first try. Would you agree, Ben? Give yourself, some grace.
I love how you described right and wrong, because we have to get over this kind of idea that I'm right and this is wrong, or I'm doing it badly. We all have that voice of critical, that inner critic in our ear saying, I'm doing it wrong, I'm not doing it right, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. Actually, that's not helpful. Actually, you are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. You've done so well. Whoever is watching this, you are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. Breathwork may give you that transformational moment that I was given, but it may be something that builds up in you over time, a deep falling in love with your breath and with who you are. And that is a powerful experience that is sustainable, that isn't just going to, burn out within a few days or a few weeks or a few months, which can happen with those big changes. Our breath is with us every single moment of our lives, and every single breath, there is something in there for you, a gift waiting to be revealed.
Thank you so much for such a beautiful explanation. Folks, if you'd like to know what Benedict is up to and potentially be working with him, attend one of his events and just see how he is bringing breath work into the world, please go check out his website. Ben, I'm reaching out. I want to feel that wonderful next state of nirvana and consciousness. In fact, raising the level of consciousness is the first principle of igniting humanity. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Lady JB. Perhaps we can just take one final breath together.
Blessings. Thank you so much. Have a great, great day. And thanks for staying up late with us. Big blessings to you and your family. Well, folks, please, I hope you know that breath work is so easy, so invigorating, so inspiring, and really, truly builds connection between us and others, between the people around us. And, I was thinking for a moment, I've never really looked over to the left to see how someone is breathing to compare myself. So let your breath work be your own. Let it be the power within you. Well, if you'd like to know how we're igniting humanities in other ways, please check out our website. We are doing a wonderful compilation book talking about people's ignite moments and how they are igniting humanity. This is going to be a colossal book, folks. 280 people in this book. We are really going to step out and make a big impression so that everybody knows how powerful your ignite moment is and how important it is to ignite humanity. Also, if you'd like to be a part of our schools, I'm very blessed to be in Indonesia last year. I'm on my way to Indonesia again this year. We are building schools in Lombok to help kids with literacy. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see Ben. And if you would like to help us, our wonderful recycled blocks used from plastic pulled out of the landfills, we love to say $1 buys a brick. So every single dollar you donate helps towards building our schools. Please reach out and donate. And if you'd like to be a part of what we're doing at our big event in Vegas, well, please check out Ignite Gatherama and see how you can join us. Lots of fun things are unfolding. In fact, Gatherama is all about bringing people together and talking about their Ignite moments and how they've used that to grow their business, to grow their brand, to have their breakthroughs. And of course, for all you authors out there, Ignite Gatherama is all about being an authorpreneur and really stepping into the grace and goodness that comes from the stories you tell and the way that you share how you are igniting humanity. All right, well, have a fantastic day. It's Friday, so have a great, great weekend. And remember, it's March 1st, so that means, how can I do March differently? How can I march forth and fulfill my dreams? How can I march into that amazing version of myself? Do something fabulous to spend some time with yourself this weekend, and remember to breathe. All right, blessings. Take care.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.